And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any have an ear, let him hear. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And all the world wondered after the beast and worshiped him. What is this saying? Well, notice it says that all of the world shall wonder after the beast. What did Yeshua say about the world? John 14, verse 15 through 19. If you love me, keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it see him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world see me no more, but ye see me, because I live, you shall live also. The world can't understand Yeshua, because they disobey Yah and love the wickedness of Satan. While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou gavest me have I kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled. And now I come to thee, and these things I speak in the world, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through the truth. Thy word is truth. Those that wander after the beast will hate those that walk after the ways of Yahuah and Yahusha. So what really is wandering after the beast? Yes, those that love the wicked things of this world that Satan has put in place to tempt mankind to do evil. But let's get into more details of what this is. What are the things of the world? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of Elohim abideth forever. Love not the world, because the things of this world go contrary to the word of Yah. Lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. We must be careful of the things we expose ourselves to in this world. These things Satan used to tempt us the same way he deceived Adam and Eve. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yeah, have Elohim have said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For Elohim do know that in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. Notice that it says, when a woman saw that the tree was good for food, and pleasant to the eyes, a tree desired to make one wise. And when they received the fruit and became aware of evil and learned knowledge on how to do evil, they knew that they were naked, because at that moment their minds became perverted. This is why Yah hates coveting. The beasts who are the workers of Satan are still deceiving the world this exact same way, literally through the works of Satan and the fallen angels. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Satan and his angels have themselves a chosen people set out to further push his agenda of temporary world dominance that is tempting and deceiving the world to do wickedness. How are they doing this? The same way they did in the garden, through the lust of food and drinking. I'm not saying that eating and drinking is a sin, but when we eat the foods Yah commanded us not, we defile ourselves, such as pork and shellfish, which are the most popular. The workers of iniquity sneak these defiling foods into the products the masses eat every day, such as candy, cheese, sandwiches, non-pork sausages, sauces and dressings, and many more. But why use these meats to make foods that absolutely have no need to produce them to further push an agenda of a defiled, docile, unhealthy masses? Gluttony is something that will lead to laziness and sin, because gluttony puts us in a fleshly mindset. The superpower America promotes gluttony through various fad diets and the marketing of many unhealthy fast food franchises. Once again, I'm not saying you can't have a slice of cake or a nice dinner with wine, but remember, moderation is key. But those of the world love to overly engage in pleasures of partying, eating, and drinking on a regular basis. So much so that they can't see the signs of the Messiah's return and will be swept away at his coming. He explains this in Matthew 24. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief will come, he would have watched, and will have not suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. Gluttony is spoken lowly of, whereas fasting from food and drinks for a period of time is spoken highly of. Check out my video, Gluttony vs. Fasting, for more details in the description. Lust of the eyes. Lust of the eyes can lead to all sins. This is why modest dressing was promoted amongst the Hebrews, to keep one from lusting with their eyes, which can lead to fornication and adultery. When we look at the old days, we see men and women dressing more modestly and modest in their behavior. But the workers of Satan began to promote immodest dress code, mainly amongst women, to lure in men who are the heads. We see the timeline of immodesty up until this day, which is worse than ever before. Men and women are practically walking outside naked nowadays. This leads to lust of the eyes. Why was the television ultimately created? Well, it's simple: to cause the world to covet and lust with their eyes. Although everything on television isn't wicked, 90% of it is. Television flashes images of unlawful sex, gluttony, murder, the pride of life, etc. The television causes many to become idle instead of utilizing the things Yah gave them and live life. This causes Satan to attack them in their idleness.
Has been in touch with me for an awful long time. His brother was in the CIA, or is in the CIA. He will never talk about the CIA to him. He'll never give anything away whatsoever, except one bit of advice. He said, never watch the television. Never watch the television. It's the greatest scientific indoctrination tool ever devised. Haven't you figured that out? It's changed the whole culture of nations, not just one nation. Why do you think it was mandatory that everybody in Britain give access to televisions by the government? Why do you think China is under the same program to get everyone with a TV right now? Because they love to have you entertained. Do you really think that? And India is on the same route as well right now too. Most of your ideas and your opinions and how you emulate, because you emulate things, you mimic what you see. As Charles Galton, Darwin and others have said in the past. It becomes you, you become it. And that's what's happened. It's been very, very, very successful. Never watch the television. You can't watch a movie unless you do it critically. If you watch it critically, not there to enjoy it. Remember what they say, it's your emotions that get you on. And it's interwoven, all these emotional themes all through movies. You're played like a harp. And they embed ideas into you, along with the movies. And predictive programming too. So you'll accept that which is still to come. And you'll behave the same way as the characters in the movie when it comes. Oh well, what can you do? I'll just watch much music or television. Yeah. You're given a mind of your own, and you've got to use it for yourself. And believe you me, if you ever had a nation or wanted a nation, you'd have to make sure that everyone took their turn. Everyone took their turn. Just like jury duty, to go in and oversee the guys that are supposed to be taking care of everything on your behalf. It's a tight club right now. It's been like that forever, because they never intended to give you anything called democracy, or, in fact, a republic. Gangs and fraternities run the systems of the countries. That's how they're run. And under taxation, and it's true what Marx said, and it's true what Lenin said, that with that part of it, all wealth comes from labor. And tax is another term for labor. When they take your labor from you and give you nothing back for it, that's called stealing and slavery. Slavery, folks. But no teacher told you that, did they? Look at the dictionaries if you can find an old enough one, because they keep changing them too. From Hamish myself from Ontario, Canada, it's good night. May your God or your gods go with you.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. Cell phones, laptops, television, and other electronics are idols amongst the majority when not used properly. They were used to do exactly what they are doing today, cause the world to become idle and docile, slaves, unaware of the times of the return of the Messiah. This is a form of sorcery and witchcraft, believe it or not. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Remember, the number of the beast is 666. Those who wander after the beast become blind and can't see that Satan is working to destroy them. Whenever you see your favorite musician flash the 666 symbol, stop listening to their music, no matter if they're not making music that seems sinful, because they're pledging allegiance with Satan and the beast, the wicked sorcerers of this world. If your favorite restaurant has 666 in their commercials or labels, stop eating their food, because they are pledging allegiance to Satan and the beast, which is most popular fast food franchises. There is no telling what you may be eating, along with various food products. Many of these companies were exposed or rumored to have put human blood and flesh in their products, and many have admitted to doing so. Beware. Hollywood is not exempt. Majority of the celebrities have sold their souls and pledged allegiance with Satan and the beast. As you can see with the symbols they throw up, reality TV is dumbing down the masses to behave like fools. Social media has enslaved the minds of the masses who use these apps inappropriately. Many women are altering their bodies with surgeries. Men are lusting after these women and doing whatever it takes to attract them. The pride of life is promoted all over social media. Many only care about impressing others with pics of their so-called lavish lifestyles because they love the vainglory of receiving likes and comments. Beware, these things are of Satan, and those who love them are wandering after the beast. Technology is one of the biggest tools Satan used to cause the world to wander after him and the beast. The internet, when it was created, was called the web. Why would they call it the web? And let's look at the real meaning of www. False religions and Sunday worship play a major role also, and technology is a major key component of causing the world to receive the mark of the beast. Many movies such as Terminator, Matrix, Total Recall, Blade Runner, etc. shows us how machines will take over the earth. Those whose eyes are open can watch these movies from a critical standpoint and see how Satan is conditioning the masses to accept the beast and his technological world that will only destroy mankind in the long run. Those of us who see these things and choose not to wander after the beast will be looked at as crazy, insane, and conspiracy theorists. We will be hated, ridiculed, and persecuted. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahuah HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Elohim. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof you have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Elohim. He that knoweth Elohim heareth us. He that is not of Elohim heareth not us. Hereby we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. We can't be friends of the world. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because you ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Elohim? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of Elohim. Those who wander after the beast, names will not be written in the book of life. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Repent and follow Yahushua and keep Yah's commandments. It's not rocket science. Those who wake up every day and strive to walk as Yahushua the Messiah in faith will not be deceived by the beast. Those who keep Yah's commandments will escape and not wander after the beast, and their names will be written in the book of life. It's that simple. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, if thou turn unto Yah thy Elohim with all thine heart, with all thy soul, For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldest say, Who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it, and do it? Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, Who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it, and do it? But the word is very near unto you, in thy mouth, and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and the death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Choose wisely.
Us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
I think the new world order is emerging.
When really a new world order can be created, it's a great opportunity.
This phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
Those